Hi, my name is Jack Dolan, and I am making a video on how to maybe quicken up your gameplay. I've been playing APBA Soccer for a few years now, and I used to play soccer as a player, and what I really like about APBA is that it does recreate the fluidness of soccer. I mean, if you've ever played the game, you're going to love this game. It does take a little bit to get used to. You need to play it a few times to get used to the flow. One of the things about APBA Soccer is you use these charts quite a bit. You're flipping back and forth in the boards. Some people call these boards, a lot of Apple, a lot of APBA people, because they're played APBA a long time ago. These used to be boards, not in a spiral-bound booklet. But now they're in the spiral-bound booklet, and what you find is you're constantly flipping back and forth between the different formation charts based on what the formations are for each team. So that's kind of tough. But the nice thing is once you've played the game a few times, you realize, man, this thing flows just like a real game, just like the real soccer game without all the physical effort, right? So what I'm going to show here is kind of my setup in the way that I would set up if I have the pitch. I usually don't have the pitch on the table because it's all in my head anyway, so what I do is I like to write down every single play that I do, that happens. And the reason why I do that is so I can leave it at any time and go, help my wife or help my kids or, do whatever. I don't have to worry about trying to remember where I was at the time when I left the table. Couple things about the game. First of all, I got the pitch here. I've got Man City on the left, Tottenham on the right. The way I do it is, this team is pressing to the left. Okay, so I don't look at it as I'm going that way. I'm actually looking at Manchester City. This is the offensive area for Manchester City. This is the offensive area for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, if you haven't been explained this before, because it's not that clear in the booklet, I don't think, in the rules. But basically, Area X is that team's defensive area. So if Tottenham, if this is their offensive area, then this whole area over here is considered Area X, or the defensive area. So that's the way you think. So that way, if anybody gets the ball in Area X, it's going to be over here, right? So I just wanted to kind of explain that for new people. And obviously, if you're trying to figure out who's got the ball, that's what the player control chart is for. And obviously, in Area X, you're going to have a higher probability of defenders going to get it. Whereas in Area A, right in front of the box, when you're trying to score, you got a higher probability that one of your, higher offensive players are going to get the ball, which is, remember, you always rank your players based on, highest offense to lowest offense, right? So basically that's how that works. Let's see, got my score sheet here. Okay, obviously the player control chart is a little card, but that's the only card that I need reading glasses for, so I created my own, and obviously it's probably larger than it needs to be, but it's there. One thing about dice rolling is the fact that fast action cards are awesome, and you can see that I bought like 8 or 10. I think I bought 8 decks, and the reason why I graduated to 8 decks is because after a while you realize that the randomness is not really there with fast action cards. If you only had the 36, which is one deck, if you only had 36 cards, then if you hit the 66 card and you put it out, you can't roll another 66. And that fact stays true even if you have 10 decks or 100 decks. If you pull out that 66, now you have one less chance of getting another 66. And with dice rolling, the chances are the same every time you roll, regardless. So it eventually makes you want to go back to, to dice rolling. Now, one of the great things about these fast action cards, it has all kinds of information on them that are from the charts. So instead of you still have to flip with these guys, okay? So since you still have to flip for whatever card result it is, whether you're looking at the top or the bottom. One of the great things is all this other stuff is in here. So if you want to see, the loose ball chart, if you roll the 61, then of course it's going to give you, the lower team is going to get the lower team rating is going to get the ball. If you're doing a direct kick from C where is it going to end up? It's going to end up in the A area. If you're doing a corner kick, where does it end up? Pass to A. So you actually pass it to the A area. And there's different results for each card based on the number, and it's exact same results as what's in here. All right. Now, the toughest thing about the fast action cards and rolling dice, okay, is the fact that the formation cards that you have to look up, and the formation charts that you have to look up here, that's a lot of shoulder work. And I tell you, my first 2 games, my shoulder was killing me. So what I did was I converted them to these kind of charts, and that way they take up very little space. This is a 4-3-3 and a 4-3-3 on defense. If I wanted to change the formation of another of one of the 2 teams, here's a 4-3-3 and a 5-3-1. Okay, so that way if they stayed in the 4-3-3 and these guys 4-5-1 and a 4-3-3. Because they changed to a 4-5-1, then I have my own charts per team, and I can quickly look them up, and that's one of the ways that I find that speed up play in a big way. Okay, so that's a key factor there. So I could still, if I want to, use the fast action cards for everything else, but what I found is that the fast action cards, all the stuff in the middle, including player control chart, which is here, it's all on these 2 pages. Okay. Now I still like this player control chart better than this over here because that's too long and too lengthy to look up. But everything else is between these 2 pages. So the only flipping you have to do is a wrist flip instead of a shoulder page flip. So that's one of the ways that I like to speed up the game. A couple other things just to mention is dice rolling. Obviously, I've already kind of talked about fast action cards, but there's 2 ways. Obviously, you got your APBA dice shaker, but a lot of people, they shake like this. That's not really shaking at all. In fact, if you have doubles there and you roll doubles, I think there's a high possibility that you can roll doubles again. See, the 3 showed up again, but not the 5. So just by doing this is not a shake. To me, a shake is it changes number almost every time you do it. Okay, so that's the way I like to do it. But that again is kind of hard on the shoulder. Personally, I got my own shaker here just because it's a lot less noisy and it does do a pretty good job. So when I'm shaking, when I roll actual dice, I like to use a real shaker no matter what. Now another way to do dice rolling is through through random.org. So if you go to random.org, what's great about it is there is a 2 dice roll. So I'm going to hit the back here. This is the main page, and you can actually generate a number between 1 and whatever from the main page. But if you scroll down a little bit, there's one that says Dice Roller. It does exactly what it says on the tin, right? So hit Dice Roller, and you say you want to hit 2 dice. So you roll the dice, and there's your first roll. And I like to zoom in on that, okay? And probably not that far. Yeah, there we go. So what I do is I just hit the roll again. And that way just hit the roll, just keep hitting that. And the first die is, of course, the red die. And the second die is the white. But random.org, their biggest thing is that their randomizer, okay, is not a computer algorithm. It's not a piece of software. I mean, it does use some software. But the thing that makes the numbers random is atmospheric noise, or white noise, as we call it in the communications field. And so this white noise is sort of like if you're watching, I don't know if they don't do it anymore with cable, but with TV, in the old days, if your channel went off the air, you've got a basically a it looked like a white screen that with a bunch of dots going in and out all the time, and it made like a, on the sound it was like a like that. So or if you remember the movie Poltergeist, and the little girl sitting right in front of the screen, when the channel is off the air, that is white noise. That's the best way to describe it. So it's completely at random. So that's one of the reasons why I like it. Every single roll has exactly the same odds to get the same results. So so that's, to me, this is better than actually dice rolling, where if you're old like me and you've got some arthritis problems, you just hit the roll again button, and you're all set. So this is my setup. This is what I like to do. Obviously, notice that I don't care about the area C's up here. I can cover it, because the area C's are down here regardless of which way you're attacking. And then I can go over my score sheet later on. But this is a score sheet. And by the way, the score sheets as well as these formation charts, they're spreadsheets. I can send them to anybody that wants them. Something that really helps out. With that, I'm going to stop, and then my next quick video is going to be just the flow of the game, how to play it, and I'll just show an example of maybe the first 10 minutes of a game. Thanks.